I hope I will not burn in hell, but I hope this new modern church house will burn in hell. There's some bread and a traditional pastry. The stairway to heaven, the golden stairs. Welcome to Stonehenge. Today we are exploring eternal sunshine of the winter. Actually, I'm going to show you some beautiful houses that I have found out in this small town in middle of nowhere. Actually, we are in a very special and beautiful location that is by the coast of Estonia. And I'm just gonna show you some marvels that will blow your mind, perhaps. The middle class luxury accommodation. But my aim is not to show how great it is, but I'm going to show you why it is important to think about the aesthetics, the beauty in the accommodation where you are living, that you are striving for. Otherwise, we will just dry our souls out from the bodies. Because as the humans, we need to experience, to feel, and to sense beauty in this life. So let's get on and let's explore some beautiful places. Now we are approaching to a house that is beautiful in color, as it's orange. I really love to have my own house plastered in such color. As you can see, this vividness, and when we have this white winter around us, then it's just nice to look at. So the front wall, the gable wall of the house is beautiful, but when we inspect those windows, it just looks strange, but no problems. And the next house has got this Swedish red to itself. But there's this one problem with the suburbs where I am on this very moment, that people tend to live this kind of a middle-class existence with their normal jobs, their normal lives, and having everything that they need, that they do not aspire for more reasons to feel alive, to be ignited by fire, to help the world to improve. As I have visited numerous eco-villages in my life, and I was for 5 years in the association or the eco-village network and doing some work for them. I have seen such possibilities in this world that these normal suburbs, they cannot touch. How you can recycle your water, how you can produce the energy and actually grow your own food. In the Soviet era, that you can see, there's a garden, but there is nothing, only grass or the snow on this very moment. But in the Soviet era, these gardens in this rayon, I would say, in the suburb, were full of plants that people were growing. They were growing potatoes, carrots, etc. They were growing food for themselves. But nowadays, they just have lawn movers and even robot lawn movers. The function of a garden and suburbia is actually to have social connections, to go and enjoy your time with other people, and to live a fulfilled life. This house looks quite nice, as there is red and white, just like a Santa Claus being built into a house. A lot of space and room to live and to enjoy your life, actually. I'm wondering how many people are there living. Is it a multi-generational house, or is there just a couple with their children? But that place looks nice, and there's a nice porch that you can come out and sunbathe in the summer. And then they have this neighbor over there Let's get a modern house. Let's get closer. Usually I would say it's a soulless house with a soulless garden. But if you look closely, you can see red windows and red elements that actually make this house beautiful. This is an unexpected beauty that I was not expecting. If they could have also some vegetables growing there, it would be a lot nicer. So this is something that in the 90s, the wealthy, the young, beautiful and wealthy people used to build for themselves. But now, 30 years later, it has become kind of a mammoth of time. But here's another example that has been built around 90s and has standed the test of time. And what I love is the stone, the brickwork, and the cohesion between the roof lines that you can see here. And another thing, the wall is a beautifully built stone brick wall that you can see that in the midst of time, the red color of cement has come out. So it's beautiful to look at and to see such a beautiful house coming closer to you. The beautiful thing about this place is that people are living on the edge of a cliff, so they can look far to the sea and see beautiful objects, and they are actually able to see the capital of our city. Maybe you are able to peek it. There are some skyscrapers out there that you can see in the distance. So we are quite close to the capital, but there's a lot of natural beauty and the seaside next to us. That house over there, it has got some monumental figures to itself and fascinating brickwork. But I suspect there lives some kind of a mafioso or someone who has been close to the underworld. Usually people with such prestige in the 90s, they were associated with criminal behaviors and funding things that were against the law. I suspect that this house out there is owned by an architect. It has got such beautiful curves to the roof, and you can go out to the balcony and enjoy your time. There's a little garden house. In the past, all those gardens used to be full of greenhouses and gardens, but nowadays it's more like a lawn. So the paradigm of society has changed. But when you look at that house, they have got those beautiful blue elements to the windows and a beautiful, magnificent view over to the cliff that is next. I really appreciate this kind of a beauty and design. And actually this house was an inspiration for my YouTube channel. So here you can see some stone wall again. And it's a dry stone wall with a modernistic design, with a house that is modern and it has a stone playing with these modern elements. It's just fascinating and beautiful to look at. This is one of my favorite places, and if the owner of this house is going to watch this video somehow, then please invite me to your place and I want to make a video showing how magnificent your house is and how beautiful it is. That house is pure joy for me to see how it has been designed, built and created, that it stands in the stature of time. As I suspect it's around 20 years old and it still looks fresh and new. There's a dry stone wall once again. This is a beautiful entrance way. You can come in and see a beautiful house. This is a quite monumental shopping mall. It's quite fascinating. As you can see those concrete slabs, and it's like also the modern design of gray and gray and this dark color. It's like another house of mortar, but this time more friendly. There lies a beautiful house in Beryl, a beautiful timber house, but you can see there is city alcohol, so it's city alcohol. They are selling alcohol to innocent people who are poisoning their souls. This is quite an idyllic place. You can see a sofa center over here. You can purchase yourself a nice cushion to your home. Then here's a beauty salon and a children studio. Children love playing over here. And the beauty studio. And you're in like a futuristic airplane flying here and trying to understand the meaning of life. But luckily you can eat there some food. There's a sushi and cafe and more sofas. This place tries to symbolize a sense of comfort that those people living around here are embodying. The reason why the housing fascinates me is because as humans, we are social creatures. We want to have connection, like Nokia from Finland. Oh, hello! And I grew up in suburbia in Estonia and in Finland. And I longed for connection, for connectivity. And then I realized the fences, the town planning, it all helps to increase the possibility of connection or destroys it utterly. And from that need of being connected to other people, I have looked into many solutions of life and livelihoods, how people live in communities, how people live in isolation. There's a stunning percent of male suicide in young adults. 78% of young people who commit suicide are men, young men, because they are isolated. They do not have community where to live, to offer their services, and they have computers, pornography and other stuff, computer games, and they isolate themselves and they die, they commit suicide. Sadly, we have to change the structure of our society and of our housing, of the borders, how we interact with other people to save humanity. This is the stairway to heaven, the golden stairs to freedom that will salvage your soul from the urban architecture, and you will see only beautiful apple trees offering you the sacred fruit. But some people say the apple was not the sacred fruit. There's some bread and a traditional pastry in our country. It's called Vastlekuchen, and you can see here out there's a road. And this is a beautiful coffee where they offer organic food and nice pastry and nice food. Those columns, they remind me of Rome, but the house itself is kind of so and so. And they have this neighbor, and again those silicate bricks that I have mentioned before, they are the most common material in the Soviet times. But what do you think about such suburbs? Do people find enlightenment living here, or do they find themselves being a common consumers? These grey boxes, they are contemporary, they are modern, but what are they trying to tell us with their design? Is the designer, the architect, or the engineer proud of those houses, or are they just failures of contemporary accommodation? There's in the background a beautiful red house, and it's actually a sewing workshop. So some traditional craft has been preserved over here. and a stone wall over there as well. These apartment blocks that are standing close over here on the square, they convey some kind of a sense of security that you can come here, you can feel relaxed and safe as your home is with you. But as you see, it's the building from early 2000s and it's already deteriorating because it's a box and the rains and the weather is too bad for it. So we have passed the gates of Mordor and there is Tower of Tol Guldur, the most horrifying place. But oh no, there are more towers over there. We have come to the end times once again. But do not worry, if you get old, then there's a place for you. A beautiful red house for the old people. A conservatory. You will get mummified over there. When I take a closer look at the tower, I understand that magnificence the architect tried to convey over there. Sadly, the materials have aged, and there are the twin towers. Beware! And in front of the towers, there are silicate brick houses. There are many of them in this country. Actually, there is a lot of pleasure in the brickwork at this rest home. You can see it has been made into two parts, but they are interconnected by this steel frame, which just conveys a symbolic meaning, not being actually practical, but it is aesthetically beautiful because you can hang your Christmas light over here and you can actually see people over there, what they're up to and how they are living their everyday lives. This is a quite special and interesting structure, health center, tervisekeskus. Now we are approaching Fool's Village. That is because when the villagers were building new houses, it was a new housing block that was built 25 years ago, and people opted for electrical heating, but they had problems with the contractors and so on, and that's just so foolish to heat those houses over there, luxury villas that have huge electrical bills. But this is not the place that I want to show, but I want to show to you a beautiful old church. And here's a stone wall before we arrive. As maybe you have understood, I love the combination of red and white. And of course, there you can see there's a red steel corrugated roof, a red wooden door, and a beautiful stone wall, as I am a fan of stone walls. So let's meet you at the cemetery gates. Yeats will be on my side and the wild will be on your side. I just could not remember the original lyrics by Morrissey. But do not worry, this is beautiful. This is the most beautiful building I have seen today. And I hope that one day I will be able to live in a church, because churches are the places that convey the electrostatic energy, that are able to harness the electricity from the atmosphere. And it's just so beautiful building. I would like to build my house into this church, but then there's this problem of too many tombstones and graves. So we should take away all the dead bodies and dump them somewhere. Oh, but that would be a sin, you know. So just can't live there. Have to build my own church. So I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe and see you again, alligator. I'm a big fan of snowy cemeteries. They convey this message of tranquility and feeling of peace and ease, as you have no earthly responsibilities anymore. Here's a modernistic problem that I forgot to show you. There's the fucking modern church next to the old, classical, beautiful church house. I hope I will not burn in hell, but I hope this new modern church house will burn in hell.